So it was easier for me to quit in mass and just be in a relationship or just abstain than it would be for me to go get a vasectomy, worry about my testosterone dropping, all those other things that could happen. That even though they say they may not happen, the studies show that once a man has a vasectomy, his testosterone does take a drop over the next 10 years. And then two, it's also still, even when you get it burnt, a 1% chance of having it done.
I wouldn't advise no man to date a woman with 3 daughters, especially if the father is like active in their life and potentially is violent, because the propensity for him to take something or anything out of pocket and attack your ass is very, 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 very high. And I'm speaking as a father of 2 daughters. If for whatever reason my daughters was in somebody else's house, the moment they tell me anything this other man has done to them, I'm a pretty logical and rational person most of the time. I will not in true be able to maintain rationality trying to figure out what's happened to my children. And I think that could go wrong.
Yes, I would. If my kid was in that situation, I would say this. I would feel the same way. However, that's not where I am right now. I mean, my kids are in their 20s, and you know that's obviously the reason why I left him, just because he had a drinking issue.
That's completely different. Yeah, no, I'm talking about. Yeah, that's completely different.
So I was just asking this because I just wanted to know, like, where I am if that wasn't an issue. And say I didn't have any communication with this person, my kids are grown because of that, would that be still something that you consider? Are you considering that?
It don't matter.
I'm not even gonna hold you. If your kids are out of the house, I don't even consider them as kids. Like that wouldn't even be in my thought. I'm talking about the ones that are 6, 7, 11, 14. Okay. Like those, you got grown-up kids. Like those are great. So you don't have kids, you have adult children. So that's what I wouldn't even look at it that way. Like that's.
We're gonna jump into a clip, but I did want to say just on that point real quick. I think after a certain age, then it becomes more weird for a woman to not have children at that point. At that point, you're like, damn, well, you know, what's up with her? Why has she not even explored this? So yeah, if she's like way up in her 30s and all that,
not like, everybody, okay, Lakeisha,
you didn't try to have children at that point yet, then I think that's even more of a reason not to date them. I don't think that most men are trying to avoid women with children. I think you want to avoid women with badass kids or dangerous baby fathers, right? So those are, you just don't want the problems, right? If you can go into that transition and they have a well-behaved child who is going to respect your authority and the dude is not running interference, you cool. Those are the main reasons why people don't want to deal with that. It's not that people don't like children, but the main issues are those two that I just mentioned. So I'm not one of those guys who would say, oh, never, you know, recreational use and all that goofy shit. I mean, to each his own. If you if you didn't have children yourself, a man in his 20s, I wouldn't tell him to do that. But a man that's a little older, 30s, 40s, there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, it's still an individual decision because you have to understand that it's a immense responsibility that you're taking on, and I don't believe in being a half-ass father. You either in it all the way, 100, or nothing.
Yeah, and I say that my reason is I'm not having any more kids, and it wouldn't be fair for me to get with a woman that's 40 fucking plus that decides all of a sudden when she sees me with my son and daughter that, oh, he's a great dad, I want babies now. It's not fair for me as a man to make her choose between loving me and being fulfilled as a woman via motherhood, and that's the choices you'd have to make because I am not giving her any more babies. So it's just unfair for me. So more than me just not dating single women, I'm intentionally staying away from them because to date me would mean they'd have to sacrifice that choice.
I think y'all gotta stop giving this blanket advice of like don't date single moms, because a lot of these niggas is clean up niggas. It just is what it is. You're gonna have to, somebody gotta do it, right? Somebody gotta do it. And if it ain't gonna be True, and if it ain't gonna be M White, and if it ain't gonna be Trev, somebody gotta take care of these little boys and these little girls, all right?
Yeah, the men they settle for. We all know stepdaddies are the niggas that women wouldn't date if they didn't have kids. That's who settles. That's who takes care of them.
That was crazy. Holy shit. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna jump into some super chats real quick. I'll let you go ahead, Keisha. Then we're gonna jump into super chats.
I gotta say it.
Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead. You first.
Because I say that because I heard a lot about being 46 with no kids, but that's a choice. You know what I mean? But I always get men that say, what's wrong with you? I don't want to date a woman that's in her 40s that don't have kids. I just spent all my life in the military and I just didn't have kids, and I'm fully cool with that. But when I meet guys and they say, and I tell them I'm 46 with no kids, that's the thing I get. Like, they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? But you know, who didn't want you? And I get all that. So yeah.
Do you want to have children? Do you want to have children?
No.
Janet Jackson did it at 50.
Never did.
So I
don't give a damn.
So Willie, if you was to date a woman that's similar to Lakeisha that says I don't want to have children, would that still be a issue for you if she says that I don't want to have children ever? Would that still be an issue?
Yeah, because I know that when women say stuff like that, they're saying they don't want to have children right now. Everything that a woman says is conditional on how she feels in that moment, and I understand that, and that's not something that I'm willing to risk. I will never risk my future situation or station in life on what a woman feels right now. So when we meet, she doesn't want children, for example. But then I also know that
21 to 46.
As active as a father as I am, it happens even with women who already have kids. As active as a father as I am, the coach, all of the things that I'm doing, these women tendly don't have dads who are active in their children's lives that way. And in the back of their minds, they say, you know what? It would be nice to have a pregnancy where I'd be supported the whole time. And they start thinking about shit like that. And that's just not something that I'm willing to do. But I'm 1,000,000,000% clear and transparent about that up front.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I was just interested in because
no, like if it was Lakeisha, so let's hypothetical magical world, it's Lakeisha, right? I understand why Lakeisha hasn't had kids. She's in the military, and she did the wisest thing she could have did. Her military career would have been significantly hindered if she'd had children during it, because she is a single woman, a single black woman in the military on top of that. But now let's say fast forward, I meet 46-year-old Lakeisha and we hit it off. There's going to be a limit into which that I'm willing to entertain that relationship, because I understand that at the end of the day that she can still change her mind. And like we tell men, just because a woman was texting you about how she was going to bust it open and how you can get all the pussy you want, if she get over there and she say no, the answer is no. We have to respect the woman's right to change her mind. So the fact that I'm aware of that, then I also would say this. What would be the deal breaker, or make, let's say deal breaker, the tiebreaker, if she wouldn't have a hysterectomy. If she's like, I'm 45 and I've had a hysterectomy and I can't have children, completely different conversation. But as long as children are viable, geriatric pregnancy or not, as long as children are viable, I am not going to date that woman.
Okay. And so do you have? Did you get? Oh.
On the reverse of that, Willie, if I meet a man that hasn't had kids, that's a no for me, because I know that potentially he would want kids. I won't date somebody that want kids. Period. So that's where I'm at in life.
And Willie, I just got one question. Did you get a vasectomy by any chance?
Fuck no.
No. Oh, yeah. I'm just curious because you say you don't want to have the children part, so I was just curious.
That's why I'm very, very careful about where I stick my dick. One, and then two, I didn't get a vasectomy because of some of these side effects that are potentially possible for that. So I just didn't want to risk it. So it was easier for me to quit fucking bitches en masse and just be in a relationship or just abstain than it would be for me to go get a vasectomy, worry about my testosterone dropping, all those other things that could happen. That even though they say they may not happen, the studies show that once a man has a vasectomy, his testosterone does take a drop over the next 10 years. And then two, it's also still, even when you get it burnt, a 1% chance of having it done. So, excuse me, a 1% chance of you, excuse me, a 0.1% chance of you conceiving a child with a woman that's fertile.
So you don't want to be in an Abba situation.
No, because even if I would take care of my kids. Like, that's one thing I've never had my children where I was married to their mothers. So I've never had a child outside of marriage. But in his situation, for me, the way that, obviously you're aware of what happened, that would never be me. I'm never going to tell a woman that, like, that baby's your problem. If I wanted to have an abortion, I'm not just going to shun her. I'll just
boy.
All right. But he's joking and he's not serious.
Yeah. That's a joke.